What was meant to be a glamorous evening celebrating athletic greatness turned into an uncomfortable social showdown that left the crowd stunned and Meghan, reportedly, fuming backstage. According to multiple insiders at the event, Meghan arrived on the red carpet flanked by her usual entourage and camera crew, dressed in an opulent black gown that screamed for attention. But this wasn't a planned royal appearance, it wasn't even an approved guest list entry. Sources from within ESPN's coordination team confirmed that Meghan was never officially invited, nor was she expected to attend. And that's where the trouble began. The host, comedian and former NFL star Michael Strahan, didn't mince words. Just minutes into the ceremony, and clearly referencing the buzz over Meghan's appearance, Strahan quipped, "Some folks just can't take a hint, even when the invitation never came in the first place." The crowd laughed nervously. Cameras cut away from Meghan's seat quickly, but not before catching a frozen expression that revealed the sting behind the smile. As the monologue continued, Strahan doubled down. "You gotta admire the confidence," he continued. "To crash an event, steal the cameras, and still act like it's your personal rebranding tour." Gasps echoed through the auditorium. No names were mentioned, but no one in the room had doubts about who he meant. Meghan, who had been seated near the front reportedly through connections with a sponsor rather than official channels, stood up minutes later and was seen leaving her seat, escorted by 2 security guards. A member of the production crew told Variety off the record, "She walked in like she was the guest of honor." Everyone was stunned. There was no clearance, no seat assignment. It was awkward, like watching someone crash a wedding in a designer dress. Critics say this wasn't a one-time misstep, it's part of a larger pattern. Since stepping back from royal duties, Meghan Markle has repeatedly drawn attention for forcing herself into high-profile events where she seems more interested in press coverage than purpose. From fashion weeks to philanthropic galas, her presence often overshadows the very people or causes the events are meant to honor. Many feel the ESPY stunt was the final straw. One sports agent posted on X, formerly Twitter, "It's an athletic awards night, not a Netflix pitch meeting. Why is Meghan Markle even here?" Another athlete anonymously commented to TMZ, "There are a lot of amazing women in sports who could have been invited instead. But once again, the spotlight somehow ends up on her, and for all the wrong reasons." Behind the scenes, ESPN executives were reportedly furious. A leaked internal memo cited unauthorized media presence and unplanned red carpet moments as causes for concern, indirectly pointing at Meghan's team, who were seen filming and snapping photos aggressively throughout her brief stay. Adding fuel to the fire, Meghan's PR team allegedly reached out in the days leading up to the event, requesting a speaking slot or appearance for the Duchess. But insiders say ESPN politely declined, clarifying that the ESPYs were about athletes, not celebrities attempting to revive brand image. The rejection, however, didn't stop Meghan from showing up. In the hours after the incident, Meghan's camp went silent. No official statement, no social media posts. Her usually media-savvy team appeared blindsided by the backlash, and some believe they were banking on favorable press coverage that never came. Instead, headlines focused on her snub, her gate crashing, and the awkward silence her presence created. It's not the first time Meghan has been publicly called out, but it may be the most direct. And for critics of the Duchess, it was a long overdue moment of reckoning. "She's built a narrative where she's always the victim," said British commentator Piers Morgan during a post-show analysis. "But maybe, just maybe, this time people are done playing along." For a woman who once said she wanted privacy, Meghan Markle's actions continue to scream the opposite. Crashing a globally televised event meant to honor the achievements of athletes, many of whom have overcome extraordinary odds, only to turn it into a PR disaster for herself, speaks volumes. Hollywood may have once welcomed her with cautious optimism. But after the ESPYs, the message seems clearer than ever. Meghan Markle, your spotlight is no longer guaranteed, and sometimes it isn't even wanted. But after the ESPYs, the message seems clearer than ever. Meghan Markle, your spotlight is no longer guaranteed, and sometimes it isn't even wanted. In fact, the reaction from A-list attendees backstage spoke louder than any tabloid headline. Several top athletes and presenters reportedly requested not to be seated near Meghan, with one Olympian allegedly remarking, "This is about athletic excellence, not a reality show cameo." Even sponsors were said to be uncomfortable, questioning how she managed to bypass standard protocol. One executive with direct ties to the event stated bluntly, "This was not a Meghan Markle moment. It was a sports celebration hijacked for vanity." What's more telling is the silence from her once loyal Hollywood allies. Not a single high-profile celebrity rushed to her defense online, nor were there photos of cozy post-event mingling. Only Meghan's swift, camera-avoiding exit and a flurry of awkward press queries afterward. This latest misstep only adds to a growing dossier of what critics are calling publicity hijacks, where Meghan appears not to honor events, but to absorb their limelight. The Duchess's brand, once tethered to empowerment and activism, now seems tangled in controversy, self-interest, and an ever-widening rift between public admiration and tabloid fatigue. And in Hollywood, when the room stop clapping, your relevance doesn't fade, collapses.